Manly Sea Eagles NRL club says security will be more vigilant in patrolling areas outside Brookvale after footage emerged of fans engaging in the run it straight craze after their weekend game against the Broncos. Now, if you haven't heard of this, it involves two people standing 10 or so metres apart before charging full speed at each other. This has gained traction on social media with millions of views across Instagram and TikTok. There have now been official competitions in Australia and New Zealand. Well, experts have long condemned the practice over safety concerns, and those fears were realised last week when New Zealand teen Ryan Satterthwaite died from injuries sustained in a backyard game. Ryan's family says he and his friends got the idea after seeing it online. Well, joining me in the studio now is Dr Chris York, a lecturer in sport management at Western Sydney University. Dr York, thank you for joining us. I know you wrote of the dangers of run it straight recently, and in fact that was just days after Ryan Satterthwaite's death. What was your reaction when you heard that news?
Yeah, tremendously sad, and it really brought home the tremendous risks that take place when you have these extraordinary collisions of two people running headlong into each other.
And yet, just a week later, as we heard there, the Manly NRL club is having to step up security because of this footage that's emerged of fans playing run it straight nearby. What does that tell us about the momentum of this craze? Yeah,
people can get wrapped up in the excitement and the energy of these viral trends. We've seen it before with unusual things, whether it's swallowing a Tide Pod or planking or taking a selfie on the edge of a cliff. People are attracted to these dangerous behaviours. I think for Manly, hopefully it's a spontaneous thing and an easy fix because they've announced more security. But these organised competitions perhaps present a bigger challenge worth more investigation.
Tell us more about Run It Straight. I mean, do we know where or how it even started?
Well, it's interesting speaking to my students, and they tell me it's something that they played as kind of a playground exercise, rather informally. But the extraordinary thing that's taken place, as the footage illustrates, is these organised, dedicated competitions across you've got a 20-metre running track, and you've got these big units, big fellas running headlong as fast as they can into each other, an attacker and the defender. And ultimately, when we're considering who the winner is, the most explosive crowd reactions have come with explicit instances of concussion and head trauma. So quite extraordinary footage, confronting footage, and it's attracted millions of views.
Yeah. I mean, I know I find it hard to watch it, but we're all different. Why is it so popular?
I think people have a different perspective on risk, and I think it's something new, it's something shiny, and it's happened so quickly. I mean, it was only about 10, 12 weeks ago that these minor events were taking place in like Campbelltown, and it's just extrapolated week on week to something bigger, something more extraordinary, with the hype, with the other social media commentators coming in and adding their noise to it, and now it's getting mainstream media coverage, which is just amplifying the noise even further.
Now, it has been endorsed by high-profile athletes, but we are seeing somewhat of a turning of the tide there. We know that Manly forward Nathan Brown spoke out against it after that footage emerged, saying he wouldn't recommend anyone do that. Rugby Australia has distanced itself from it, New Zealand Rugby League, rugby also. Tell us about this role that the codes can play here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we've got to take this idea of someone's taking something very explicit about the sport and amplified it. And I think there's a great opportunity for the footy codes to come out and say, look, our athletes don't operate in a bubble. We can support them. We've got doctors on site. We've got all the medical practices. And because they do it for work. Every single day, they're developing a skill that allows them to be experts in the art of collision. So if you want to do that, go to your local footy club, sign up, go to your weekday training, play games on Saturday, have a coach who's educated in how to develop those skills, have the on-site medical practitioners there in the case that something goes wrong. Because look, people are drawn to risk. But boys want to play, and girls want to play these collision sports. So it's very hard to eliminate the idea of it not happening. So at least educate them on the platforms where they can do it in the correct environment.
And, I mean, there'd have to be a bit of caution on the part of any celebrities, sports stars, condoning this and lending their support to this practice, right?
Absolutely. And I think we're seeing that, aren't we, is that initially there's that attraction to, like, we're watching these athletes, the performers in Run It Straight, and we can make an immediate attachment to, say, the kick-off return in a footy game. But now we've had that little bit of time to reflect. The game's a bit more complex than that. There's a nuance of skills, and of course, there's all those support structures. We had an instance of George Burgess doing Run It Straight against Nemi Nadolo. How many years has George Burgess practiced his ability, the weight training and strengthening his neck muscles, his spinal column, all of that allows George Burgess to do what he does. Doesn't eliminate the risk, but that's not the same as a 19-year-old boy wanting to do it with his friends with none of that in place.